He thought that was your phone.
Yeah. That's not.
You ever shake his hand?
Yes. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our regular session this evening. The first item on the agenda is roll call.
Mayor Jones,
Here.
Alderman Randolph,
Here.
Alderwoman Bibbs,
Here.
Alderman Hartman,
Here.
Alderman Runyons,
Here.
Alderman Maloney,
Here.
Alderman Rousey.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. The next item is Pledge of Allegiance, so would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? And after the pledge, we'll have a moment of silent prayer for our men and women in harm's way. And also, let's include former Mayor Harry Wilson's family as well in our silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very, very much. You may be seated. The next item is the approval of tonight's agenda. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
I'd like to make a motion to approve tonight's agenda as printed and presented.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So tonight's agenda has been approved as written. The next area is the approval of the minutes from December the 13th, 2022. Is there a motion?
Mayor,
Alderman Randolph.
make the motion to approve the minutes from the regular session, December 13th, 2022.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So the regular session minutes from December the 13th have been approved. The next item is awards presentation and organizational business. And we have two items here. The first one is the Yard of the Month. And just to call the names, and if you would, line up in order because there's a difference. If you can, Becky, can you show the pictures? Can you show the pictures?
Sure.
Thank you. The Yard of the Month for the first place winner is Brian and April. And are Brian and April here?
I don't know if this is.
I don't see. Yes,
No,
yes.
This is it.
The second place winners are here. David and Laura, would you please come on up front? Second place winner. And you can stand by the mic. I appreciate it. And third place winner is Gregory and Nina. And I don't see them either. So we've got the second place winners. If I could switch and give the first place prize to the second place winners, I would, but I can't do that. But. I know you get it on the roof, but she gets the benefit. Absolutely. No, the next one. Yes, the middle. Okay. Just want to make sure. Is it a picture? We got the right one. Right. So why don't you guys stand? Come on over a little bit, Laura. Okay, that's your picture. If you can take it, can you get their picture too? David may have to force her up. So. No? Got it? Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much. This year, for the decorations, second place received a $50 gift certificate to Housewives, plus some other things from the city of Grandview. So you will get the chance to go back to Housewives right here on Main Street, 7th and Main, and enjoy the cuisine. And I can tell you that probably the best sandwich is the mayor. And just unbiased, okay, unbiased, but I think that's the best. But the Board of Aldermen behind you would like to congratulate you on your second place finish. So congratulations. put me out there too much. Did you get that? Okay, good. So David and Laura, thank you both again. The next item we have here is going to be a special time. We're going to recognize Joe Gall. Joe and Ann and family, would you guys come on up? Joe, Ann, and family, come on down. Man, you've got the whole crew here? For the most part? Yeah. They're all here. Just so everybody knows, Joe Gall has been the city's attorney for how many years? 35 plus years. I think it's a little bit more than that, but a long time. So we've had Joe at our presence for a mighty, mighty long time, which has been a blessing for sure. Joe, not only that, but Joe, as our city attorney, he's been a good spiritual leader as well. So he has blessed us not only with his legal expertise, but he has kind of guided us down the moral path, which I think is just as important as the legal, perspective. So that has been very, very encouraging. We have here for Ann, because Ann allowed Joe to be with us, okay? So it wasn't for Ann, there would be no Joe, okay? That's just how it is. But this is a Lifetime Achievement Award, and it says here, come on, Ann, Joe, you can come on with her, just for support, okay? It says, Lifetime Achievement Award in recognition of Joseph S. Gall. The city of Grandview thanks you for your 37 years of public service. So we're going to let you hold that and say, thank you, sir, again. For the many, many years. Yes, thank you. Now, Joe has got a lot of his family here. Now, they're all smiles because they just left Jack Stack and had a good meal. A good meal, right? It's kind of hard not to have a good meal at Jack Stack. I mean, it's an awesome place. So we love it, too. So, Joe, thoughts? And I'm going to ask the board and some of the other members. So anything you would like to add, sir?
Absolutely. Could I introduce my family?
Absolutely.
So, my oldest son, Adam, his son, my grandson, Shay, and Shay's girlfriend, Alyssa, my son, Zach, and his wife, Beth, and their 4 kids, 2 sets of twins, Mary and Addie. They look exactly alike, right? And Scarlett and Harrison. Hold up your hands, Scarlett and Harrison. Yes. And if you get a good look at Scarlett, she has a gap in her teeth tonight, so that's exciting. My daughter, Katie, her husband, Pete, and their 3 boys. We've got Winston, who helped pick up trash on the outer road, August, and Oakley. Did I miss anyone? Thank you. And, of course, my wife, Ann. So, in terms of what I'd like to say, I want to tell you that it's been a blessing to me to work for Grandview. I can honestly say that Grandview was really the touchstone of my legal career. I say that because I started doing legal work for Grandview almost from the time I got my bar license. And Grandview stuck with me my entire legal career. I changed firms twice. Grandview stayed with me, and I really appreciate that. I've worked, I think, for 4 mayors, and I was sure sad to hear that the first mayor I worked for passed away recently, Mayor Wilson. But I've worked for 4 mayors, 3 city administrators, many elected aldermen, alderwomen, and I don't want to miss anyone, so I'm not going to mention every name, but I see Annette's here, and of course Jim Crane, who was on the board when I first started doing legal work for the city. So he outranks, or his tenure is longer than mine. So it's been the mayor said it was a blessing. It's been a blessing to me to work here. It's really been the highlight of my legal career, and I'm not just saying that. So thank you so much for letting me serve this fine city.
And again, it has truly been a blessing to have Joe here. Adam, you're the firstborn. Is there anything you would like to add since Dad has been here and been a part of the city? Anything at all you would like to add?
I'd like to congratulate him. I know he's worked hard his whole career, and I know he's very proud of this moment. He appreciates it very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. And again, we have Alderman Crane. You're here. You were here at the beginning when he started. So anything you would like to add, sir, or? No, I think it's all been said. Okay. Joe's a good man. That's a compliment by itself, which means that Ann chose him. That means she has good taste, right? So the Gall family, we say thank you, thank you, thank you for allowing Joe to be our city attorney for 37 years. What a blessing we've been blessed with. So thank you. And Joe, the Board of Aldermen would like to come around, starting with Alderman Randolph, just to shake your hand and say thank you, thank you, thank you. Huh? Yes, right. So, Ann, as you hold that, that's good. But we've got another presentation that, Annette, or you want to provide that now? Okay, I think this will be a perfect timing for Annette to provide this resolution that has been created on your behalf. And I'm going to put the mic here so you can speak into it.
I'm going to read this for you, Joe. Come on up,
Get close.
Come on up here, my friend. Okay. Whoops. Thank you, dear. Can everybody hear me? Okay. One of the last things that I did as your state representative last year was resolutions for some very important people to me. Again, Joe and his longevity and his retirement. And so I'd like to read it for you. Joe?
Okay.
Your resolution from the House of Representatives.
That's really small print.
I got my bifocals on. Whereas the members of the Missouri House of Representatives welcome with pleasure the opportunity to recognize a remarkable Missouri citizen whose efforts and accomplishments have made him a source of inspiration to all those around him. And whereas Joe Gall is to be commended for his 36, which we now know is 37, years of service as a special counsel and city attorney to Grandview, Missouri. And whereas Joe Gall is a 1985 graduate of the University of Missouri-Kansas City School of Law, who commenced his law career as a clerk for Judge Bartlett, a federal judge on the United States District Court for the Western District of Missouri in Kansas City. And whereas in 1986, Joe Gall began working at Shook, Hardy & Bacon, with the city of Grandview being a client almost from the time he started in 1986 until 2000. And whereas Joe Gall then worked as a private attorney for a short while prior to joining Humphrey, Farrington, and McLean, PC, in 2001, following which time he took on the responsibility of city attorney for the city of Grandview. And whereas Joe Gall has been blessed with the love and support of his wonderfully devoted family, whose members include his wife of 40 years, Ann, their 4 children, and 8 grandchildren. Whereas Joe Gall can take pride in knowing he has consistently given more than 100% to all those activities in which he has so generously and enthusiastically participated. Now, therefore, be resolved that we, the members of the Missouri House of Representatives, 101st General Assembly, join in extending our most hearty appreciation to Joe Gall for his 36 years of service to the city of Grandview, and further wishing him continued success in all future endeavors. And be it therefore resolved that the Chief Clerk of Missouri House of Representatives be instructed to prepare a properly inscribed copy of this resolution for Joe Gall. Want to get a picture of him with these resolutions? Oops, I'm sorry. I'm tearing the place apart. Here we go. You guys, get over here, Joe. The kids are in. Don't cover Anna. Come on, Annie. Come on up here. There we go. Hang on.
So to the Gall family, we say thank you, congratulations. I know Joe has just one question. He wants to know when his daughter is going to have a daughter. So I know that's coming. Hey, we'll just, okay, that was my question. It wasn't his question. I figure I better ask that question, Life is good. So congratulations once again, Ann. Thank you very much to the family. Thank you guys all for all you have done, and continue to take good care of Granddaddy, okay? All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. You ready? Okay.
Debbie? Debbie Bolin, everybody.
The Miss DMV.
Miss DMV. Miss DMV. And again, we have a resolution from the House of Representatives for this one's 36 years with the Grandview License Bureau and Finance, and she's bounced back and forth, and she's been running the License Bureau for us for a long time now. And her resolution says, whereas the members of the Missouri House of Representatives welcome with pleasure the opportunity to recognize a remarkable Missouri citizen whose efforts and accomplishments have made her a source of inspiration for all those around her. And whereas Debbie Bolin is to be commended for her 36 years of service to the city of Grandview, Missouri, and whereas Debbie Bolin is known, admired, almost like I got lost, and admired and respected for her helpful attitude and the friendly manner in which she has always greeted people in and around the Grandview community. Whereas Debbie Bolin commenced her career with the city of Grandview in 1986 as a part-time employee with the Department of Motor Vehicles. Whereas in 1990, Debbie Bolin became a full-time property tax clerk, a position she filled until returning to the Department of Motor Vehicles as an accounting clerk in 1991. And whereas Debbie Bolin assumed the title of Licensed Office Manager on June the 27th of 2008, since which time she has fulfilled all of her important duties and responsibilities to the best of her ability. And whereas Debbie Bolin has been blessed with the love and support of her wonderfully devoted family, whose members include her husband, 3 children, and 6 grandchildren. Whereas Debbie Bolin can take pride in knowing she has consistently given more than 100% to all of those activities in which she has so generously and enthusiastically participated. Now, therefore, it be resolved that we, the members of the Missouri House of Representatives, 101st General Assembly, join in extending our most hearty appreciation to Debbie Bolin for her 36 years of service to the city of Grandview, and in further wishing her continued success in all future endeavors. Be it further resolved that the Chief Clerk of the Missouri House of Representatives be instructed to prepare a properly inscribed copy of this resolution for Debbie Bolin. Debbie?
say anything. I'm
That's
wondering why
the
they were
point.
here. Okay.
Yeah, that's the point.
Okay.
So, my dear friend Leonard,
Honey, will you come on up? Kenya?
come
you
on,
come
Kenya,
up?
come on, come on.
Uh, this is my wife, Michelle, and
Our first
our
lady.
daughter, Kenya. If you can't tell, you know, it's a. I'm wondering. I said, what are you doing?
And as I was leaving the House of Representatives, I wanted to honor folks here in the city that have just, they've been here forever. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing in this town if it weren't for these people and their work ethic. And this one, of course, we know everybody loves Leonard, so here we go. Whereas the members of the Missouri House of Representatives welcome with pleasure the opportunity to recognize a remarkable Missouri citizen whose efforts and accomplishments have made him a source of inspiration for all those around him. Whereas Mayor Leonard D. Jones, Jr. has to be commended for 34 years of public service to the city of Grandview, and whereas the executive on the board of the High Grove Estates Neighborhood Association. Mayor Jones began his career in public service when he became a member of the High Grove Estates Neighborhood Association in 1988, whereas Mayor Jones assumed the responsibilities of a Grandview City Alderman in 1998, following which time he took on the duties of mayor in 2014. Whereas Mayor Jones also began serving as a member of the board for the Little Blue River Valley Sewer District, and the Rediscover Board in 2014, and as an executive official member with the Grandview Assistance Program, GAP. Whereas throughout his public service career, Mayor Jones has worked in the private sector as well, retiring from Sprint in May of 2022, following 35 years of steadfast and admirable service in the purchasing division. And whereas a member of the Bannister Road Baptist Church, Leonard Jones has been blessed with the love and support of his wonderfully devoted family, whose members include his wife of 41 years, Michelle Jones, 3 daughters, 3 grandsons, and 1 great-granddaughter. Whereas Mayor Jones can take pride in knowing he has consistently given more than 100% to all those activities in which he has so generously and enthusiastically participated. Now, therefore, it be resolved that we, the members of the Missouri House of Representatives, 101st General Assembly, join in extending our most hearty appreciation to Mayor Leonard Jones for 34 years of public service to the city of Grandview, and in further wishing him continued success in all his future endeavors. Be it therefore resolved that the City Clerk of Missouri House of Representatives be instructed to prepare a properly inscribed copy of this resolution for Mayor Leonard D. Jones, Jr.
Thank you.
I gotcha. Here we go, Kenya.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You bet.
Needless to say, I don't do surprises well. So there's going to be a lot of conversations at the Jones household and our city administrator, because we don't do surprises. So we'll work through all of this. But thank you. Well, but thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And boy, you guys will talk later. Thank you. Michelle, why don't you take us? Thank you. Thank you. The next area that we have is public comment. And at this point in time, it is 7:24. So I would like to open us up to public comment. And anyone who would like to address the Board of Aldermen, please step up to the mic and state your name, your address, and do sign in right here where Mackenzie and Becky are located, and then we will proceed accordingly.
Is anyone going to address the board? Oh, okay, please step up to the mic, sir. State your name and address, and do sign in. Thank you. And grab the mic because it's low, please. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Samuel Jusom. My address is 7916 East 128th Street. Excuse me.
Yeah.
What I would like to
Speak louder so we can, yeah.
Can we turn it up a little? Do I gotta
Yeah.
do like
Yeah, do like, yeah.
Okay.
Do like you're rapping.
Can y'all hear me now? No. My comment would be I'd greatly appreciate the new improvements that you guys did on the roads. I've been a resident here in Grandview for about 7 years now, and you don't know how many times that I've gotten off on the wrong exit just to realize I have to go down a whole nother exit just to get back on the turnaround, on the outer roads. So I appreciate that. I understand that, change happens. And at first it was like, well, that don't make no sense. But then as I continue driving these roads on a daily basis, it makes a lot of good sense. For me to be able to make a right-hand turn off of Martha Truman Road, and to be able to go up by the Holiday Inn right there, and to be able to turn down, what is that? I don't know what road that is. There you go. No, but the road up by the Holiday Inn, I can take that through the back roads through the neighborhood and go to my home. Before I wasn't able to do that. To be able to get on the outer road going southbound on Martha Truman before you go up under the underpass, to be able to take that right there, and also having traffic come this way is a blessing. Like, I don't understand why it took so long. But I'm glad that it's there. I'm pretty sure the businesses on the outer roads greatly appreciate that. Me and my wife being a business owner here in the Grandview area, I know other businesses appreciate that because they probably lost a lot of business because if people got off the wrong exit, them having to turn around and try to figure out how to get over to that business, they don't have to anymore. So I greatly appreciate that. I also want to do like how they do on the Oscar Awards. Can I go ahead and accept the award on the behalf of the best homes, the first and second places?
Hold that thought. That's a good
I'm
thought.
just saying, I'll gladly accept that award on their behalf.
Well, if that's the case, I'm glad that David and Laura have theirs already. But the first and third, we will have to give that to them. They have already been notified. They just were not here tonight. So but thank you for being willing to take one for the team.
One last thing, I do want to recognize Debbie and Joe, and you, Mayor Jones. You guys been in office as long as I've probably been alive. So what that represents and what I hear and what the great things that, the mayor had to say about you guys is his faithfulness. And so, I love faithfulness and I appreciate faithfulness. So I appreciate you guys' faithfulness to the city of Grandview, and you too, Mayor Jones. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Anyone else who would like to address the Board of Aldermen? Okay, I'm not seeing anyone. It is 7:29. Please step up to the mic. Anyone else who would like to address the Board of Aldermen? Now's the time to get up because I'm going to close it if you don't get up and get in line. State your name and address and do sign in when you finish.
No problem. Hello. Oh, there it goes. All right. I'm Dylan Thomas. I live on 13220 Bennington Avenue. And I'd like to agree with the speaker before me and say that I think the road improvement has gone very well. And the only thing me and several of my neighbors have been wondering about is we noticed that it was stated that the project had closed, and we noticed that one of the things that was on the project was to build sidewalks on the outer roads. And me and some of my neighbors were simply wondering what's the status of that, if you have any comment on that, or we just want to make sure it's in the works.
Awesome.
But we think that you're doing a good job on that. I honestly think that the roundabouts everywhere is helping a lot, especially just saving gas at this time at the moment. But thank you.
Thank you very much. And Jamal, did you take that down? Thank you. And we will get back in touch with you on that as well. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
It is 7:30, so I declare public comment closed. There are no public hearings, so is there a motion for consent items D through G?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
make a motion to approve consent items D through G as printed and presented.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Randolph.
I'll second.
Thank you. Been moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So consent items D through G have been approved. The next area is ordinances. Is there a motion on bill number 7665?
Mayor,
Alderman Randolph.
move to bill number 7665 be placed on its first reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Bill number 7665, an ordinance renewing a software license and service subscription agreement with Central Square Technologies LLC for records management and computer-aided dispatch software.
Thank you very much. And Chief, I see you want to give us a good couple of minutes overview?
So we started the program back in 2020. This will be the second annual renewal. You'll notice that the 97,952 is a little bit below the 100,000 that were contracts set up for because they haven't delivered on a couple of the modules. Our law department, aka Joe, has been working with their law department, and we got a credit on this year, and then we have a 6,000 and some change credit for next year because of these two modules they're missing, which is the e-citations and the traffic reporting. It's not unique to Grandview. It's an issue across the entire state. We've expressed our frustration. They're working with us, but they haven't delivered yet, so that's the reason for the discrepancy on the amount. Other than that, the lion's share of the program is working well. The RMS system, which is the records management system, and then the CAD system and dispatch is working well. So few pieces they need to fix, but they're being forthright and working with us. They're struggling with it across the whole state.
Thank you, Chief. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Randolph.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Motion for second reading.
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I move that bill number 7665 be placed on its second reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Runyon.
second the motion.
Bill number 7665, an ordinance renewing a software license and service subscription agreement with Central Square Technologies LLC for records management and computer-aided dispatch software.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion for final passage.
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
move that bill number 7665 be placed on final passage and said bill be enacted.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Randolph.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Runyons.
Aye.
Ordinance number 7407.
So bill number 7665 has passed. Is now ordinance 7407. Is there a motion for bill number 7666?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I move that bill number 7666 be placed on its first reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
I'll second the motion.
Bill number 7666, an ordinance authorizing a contract with Hofer Welker LLC to serve as architects and engineers for the City of Grandview 2022 bond municipal buildings, City Hall, 1102 Main, Fire Station number 2 and number 3, and authorizing payment.
Thank you very much. Is there any discussion? Jim, I see you have come up, so. Jim, any comment?
Yes, I just want to.
Turn it on, yeah.
There, okay. Public Works staff has gone through a rigorous interview evaluation process with a number of architectural firms, And through our grading and evaluation and interviews, we felt and feel that Hafer Welker is the most qualified architectural firm to work on our bond projects upcoming. Mr. Ken Hinton, partner with Hafer Welker, is here this evening to answer any questions that any alderman would have. We look forward to getting this project off and running and getting City Hall, fire stations expanded, renovated, and getting our DMV a new home at 1102 Main.
Thank you very much. Good to see you again, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's nice to see you too. Thank
Absolutely. Any comments you'd like to add, and we'll move on from there?
Not necessarily. We're just really excited about the project. I know these projects don't come around all the time, so when we get a chance to work with the city, it's exciting for us to do so, and we're going to have a big impact working on half a dozen buildings or so, 4 or 5 buildings, but it'll be a very good project for us.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
does this mean we're going to take a vacation from city meetings when you start working up here?
Well, they won't be held in City Hall for approximately 6 months. I can guarantee you that, whether they're virtual or at one of the other city facilities is to be determined.
Okay.
But they won't be,
Here.
no, this will
All right.
be,
Because I think a lot of people out there come up and say, hey, where is it at on Tuesday, you know?
sure.
Thanks.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Randolph.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Motion for second reading.
Mayor,
Alderman Randolph.
make a motion that bill number 7666 be placed on its second reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Bill number 7666, an ordinance authorizing a contract with Hafer Welker LLC to serve as architects and engineers for the City of Grandview 2022 bond municipal buildings, City Hall, 1102 Main, Fire Station number 2 and number 3, and authorizing payment.
Thank you. Any discussion? You know, one thing I would like to add, and just those of you in the audience, one of the things I think we do very well here in Grandview is that when we go out for bid, we are pretty rigorous, and we've been fortunate because many firms have been willing to participate, and that makes the process better when you have more firms participating, and you get a better product. And since I did purchasing for 30-plus years, it's always a better thing to do, to have more input, and the end result's always better. So we appreciate that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we had 8 firms initially submit qualifications.
Awesome. Any further discussion? Hear none? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion for final passage.
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
move that bill number 7666 be placed on final passage and said bill be enacted.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I second.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Randolph.
Aye.
Ordinance number 7408.
So bill number 7666 has passed, is now ordinance 7408. The next item is bill number 7667. Is there a motion?
Mayor,
Alderman Randolph.
move that bill number 7667 be placed on its first reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I second.
Bill number 7667, an ordinance authorizing payment to Wiedenman Incorporated for emergency repairs of Sycamore and High Grove streets.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Randolph.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Motion for second reading.
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I move that bill number, excuse me, 7668 be placed on a second reading.
7667, sir.
7?
6-7, yeah.
767.
Yes. Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
I'll second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bill number 7667, an ordinance authorizing payment to Wiedenman Incorporated for emergency repairs of Sycamore and High Grove streets.
It's been moved and second. And Doug, I know this is emergency, but Any updates you want to give us?
On the project at
Yes.
High Grove and Sycamore?
Yes.
It's completed. So, again, this is one where we had a settlement of a deteriorated pipe, and we needed to get a contractor out there quickly because it was right next to a sidewalk, and High Grove being a main traffic way. So we got them out there. They got it taken care of, and just handling the paperwork right now.
And many people driving down High Grove are grateful that both lanes are now open, because that far southern lane being closed was interesting by itself. So, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion for final passage.
Mayor,
Alderman Randolph.
move that bill number 7667 be placed on final passage and said bill be enacted.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I second.
Alderman Randolph.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Ordinance number 7409.
So bill number 7667 has passed. It is now ordinance 7409. The next item is bill number 7668. Is there a motion?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I move that bill number 7668 be placed on its first reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
I'll second.
Bill number 7668, an ordinance approving change order number 1 to the contract agreement with Rodmacher Trek for design and construction of the I-49 outer roadway design building conversion project.
And Doug, for the audience's sake, give us just an overview of what to be included, what is going to be included in this change order.
I'll give a 30-second overview.
Okay, hold up, go.
There was a set budget for a project. There was a considerable amount of outside funds through Federal Highway Department and MoDOT to be used on the project. We had significant savings on the right-of-way acquisition side. So in order to make use of the federal funds and the state funds that were allocated to the project, we through this change order, adding work to the Rodmacher, the contractor's contract, in order to add more value to the citizens of Grandview and the businesses on that project by adding sidewalks, paver bricks, was able to speed up construction in some phases, some other steps to reduce the amount of long-term maintenance that the city has. So that's what this change order does, is kind of a, as we stated at the work session, just kind of a paper as we're doing a closeout of the project, just kind of dotting the I's, crossing the T's.
And just for the Board of Aldermen, as people ask you questions, one of the things included that Doug has told us in our work session is that to put a guardrail on going north on 49. So that's also included in here. But probably the most important thing for the audience is to know that this is money that has been given to the city of Grandview, and now we can utilize the funds in this way, and it's not costing us anything else. So it's, as Doug has mentioned, if we don't use it, then we have to turn it back into the federal government, and we have some really important items to utilize those funds on. So.
And bottom line is, essentially, the project was delivered on time and on budget.
Yes, awesome. Any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
it's not a mystery how I voted for this project over the years here, but I do want to commend staff. This has been a very big project that spanned multiple years, and I love the fact that our staff was given a directive, and our staff are closers, and they delivered an enormous project on time and under budget. So I just want to thank you. So even though I may have voted no on it, I am very proud of our staff and what we can deliver, and I know that our staff is making sure that our citizens are served to the absolute best of the ability, and we get the most bang for our buck all the time. So I just want to commend you for working so hard for years on this project.
Doug, you want to get that in writing? Okay, so that you have that?
It's said it into the microphone.
Okay, it's being recorded, all right. Awesome. Alderman Runyon.
Have we done a punch list?
There is a punch list. We just added to it a little bit more today in a meeting, and that'll be given to the contractor. So if there's anything else that
And
that you have
I
noticed,
just noticed yesterday is from on the west access road from Truman Drive to Good. There's a few notches that aren't that the patch or whatever we put on it. But then somebody's driven. There's some tire tracks down there. They're pretty deep, up and down there.
yeah, there's some of those are on there, and then some of that will be particularly I want to say the grass-related items would be dressed up in the spring, and there's also some landscaping work that will also take place in the spring. So besides a little bit of work yet to be done, there are some a few items on a punch list. So on the size of the project, the punch list isn't too long.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Randolph.
Aye.
Motion for second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
move that bill number 7668 be placed on its second reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Randolph.
I'll second.
Bill number 7668, an ordinance approving a change order number 1 to the contract agreement with Rodmacher Trek for design and construction of the I-49 Outer Roadway Design Building Conversion Project.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion for final passage.
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I move that bill number 7668 be placed on its final passage and said bill be enacted.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Hartman.
I'll second that.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Randolph.
Aye.
Alderman Runyons.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Ordinance number 7410.
So bill number 7668 has passed. It is now ordinance 7410. Is there a motion on bill number 7669?
Mayor,
Alderman Randolph.
move that bill number 7669 be placed on its first reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Bill number 7669, an ordinance authorizing the execution of a cooperative agreement for funding operations of Operation Greenlight Traffic Control System and authorizing payment.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call. Oh, Alderman Runyons.
The way I understand it, this is so you synchronize if you hit a green, the next one, and so on. I think, I know it's been all over, it's all over the metropolitan area, but I think the only place it works is Ward Parkway. I mean, the more stoplights we get in Grandview, I think it'll be much better.
Sorry. There's limited corridors in the city
Right.
of Grandview, but theoretically, or if it's working right, if you're at, let's say, 140th Street and I-49, if you got one red light, you should be able to get the red light, the second red light, and get you on your way. But, there wasn't too many times that I would travel from Shawnee down to the plaza on a morning if I had a meeting down there. And, boy, when it works good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, there's obviously a lot of moving parts with traffic signals, and then whenever pedestrians, push the crosswalk button, it'll throw it off. But it's a system that's been around in the metro area for a good 20 years, and with technology, they're improving it all the time. But what this agreement does is now that we've taken over the signals at 140th and I-49 and Harry Truman and I-49 and the one here at the West Outer Road and Main Street, we're adding those 5 to the previous 5 that OGL or Mark was handling. So what this covers is now we have 10 signals in the system. So for $8,000, not only coordinate them, but they monitor them as well, which is good because we don't have the staff to monitor our traffic signals, so they
It's
do
just
that.
the software that's
Right.
in the package.
It's
Absolutely.
the software and people to monitor the software down at Mark's offices.
Awesome. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Randolph.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Motion for second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
move that bill number 7669 be placed on second reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Bill number 7669, an ordinance authorizing the execution of a cooperative agreement for funding operations of Operation Greenlight Traffic Control System and authorizing payment.
Thank you. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion for final passage.
Mayor,
Alderman Randolph.
move the bill number 7669 be placed on its final passage and said bill be enacted.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I second.
Alderman Randolph.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Ordinance number 7411.
So bill number 7669 has passed. It is now ordinance 7411. Next item is bill number 7670. Is there a motion?
Mayor,
Alderman Hartman.
I move that bill number 7670 be placed on the first reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second his motion.
Bill number 7670, an ordinance imposing a sales tax at a rate of 3% on all tangible personal property retail sales of non-medicinal adult use marijuana sold within the city of Grandview, Missouri, pursuant to Article 14, Section 2.65 of the Missouri Constitution, subject to the approval by the voters of the city at a special election to be held on April 4th, 2023, designating the form of ballot and directing the city clerk to provide notice of said election.
Thank you. And Carrie, I see you have stepped up, so any input you have for us and for the audience?
I did take a bit of a poll of all the other cities surrounding us to see if they had taken any action on this matter. As the board is aware, both the state and the county are authorized to put on a tax as well as any city. And as of this evening, Raytown and Liberty have already done that. They've already approved putting it on the April ballot. Lee Summit is having its first reading of it tonight. Blue Springs is addressing it tonight. Belton is addressing it tonight. Independence is addressing it next Tuesday. And Kansas City is intending to address it as well. All of these cities are intending to, if their boards pass it, put it on the April ballot by getting it to the Jackson County Election Board by the 24th of this month.
All right. Thank you very much. Any discussion?
Mayor,
Alderman Runyons.
I'm in favor of this, but I think in the next several weeks and months, along with the Board of Aldermen, along with the staff, has got to develop a lot of code changes and recommendations of where we should be spending this extra 3%. But I think more is where the ordinances we need to change to tighten this up. I mean, there's going to be a lot. I think the police department's going to have their hands full. I really do. And then it'll be employers and stuff. But it's, overall, this is not, I know we have to live with it.
Yep.
It's not a good deal.
Alderman Running's excellent point. Staff, our attorneys, everyone in the state still scratching their head how we got to this point, but it is what it is. It is a constitutional amendment. And when it comes down to that, there are a lot of unknowns. The law is not very clear. The applications are not very clear. But at the same time, there is the federal law, too. So we've been doing a lot of studying, thinking that this has a probability of passing, which it did pass. We've been talking to other cities. We've been talking to NLC, MML, all these organizations. Almost all cities are in the same situation as we are. You're correct. we will be doing a lot of changes to our code to address this, from zoning to HR to police to how to contain it. But it is going to be a big puzzle for us to solve for the next year or so, because there will be many more changes coming our way.
No, and I'm thinking it has to involve the board besides staff.
Anytime we change an ordinance, you guys need to, anything in the books, you guys need to approve it too, definitely. And if there are any good ideas that you're reading on a regular basis, we're happy to analyze it for you guys too.
Yeah, and I think the board, and I've been doing a lot of studying on it because I think we need to be well aware of what's going on. There's things happening, and we don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of infighting with licensing and those.
No doubt,
Yeah.
no doubt, no doubt.
That's all.
Any further discussion?
There are a lot of unknowns. That's all. But I know it will be starting to be sold on February 6th.
Well, the thing is a lot of unknowns, not only for us, but every municipality in the state.
Absolutely.
So we're all in this together in a lot of ways. And I think that's why MML came out with, okay, this is a model to kind of work through and work from. So I think that's wise. So, good. Roll call, please.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Randolph.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye. Motion for second reading.
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I move that we put Bill 7670 on a second reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Randolph.
I'll second.
Bill number 7670, an ordinance imposing a sales tax at a rate of 3% on all tangible personal property retail sales of non-medicinal adult use marijuana sold within the city of Grandview, Missouri, pursuant to Article 14, Section 2.65 of the Missouri Constitution, subject to the approval by the voters of the city at a special election to be held on April 4th, 2023, designating the form of ballot and directing the city clerk to provide notice of said election.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion for final passage.
Mayor,
Alderman Hartman.
I move that bill number 7670 be placed on its final passage, said bill be enacted.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I second.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Randolph.
Aye.
Ordinance number 7412.
So bill number 7670 is passed. It's now ordinance 7412. And this was Carrie's very first ordinance that she submitted herself. So thank you. Appreciate that very, very much. And also I'd like to mention that Mackenzie is sitting over here to Becky's left, Becky's right, my left. And Mackenzie is going to be, I'm sure you get a certificate for, being able to run the next meeting whenever that time comes. Oh, yes. Okay. Well, I'm sure Becky will give you a certificate as needed. So, okay. Awesome. We had other business, and let's start with Alderman Randolph. We'll work our way down. Any other business?
No, sir.
Alderman Runyon.
I got a report the other night. I guess Transportation Committee.
Can you get
had-
closer to the mic so we can hear you? Yeah.
I believe Transportation Committee had a meeting last week sometime, and it was reported to me that there was some discussion about Blue Ridge, and there was some questions about sidewalks, and the committee was told that there wouldn't be any sidewalks on the extension of Blue Ridge from 3rd Street to Prospect, and I don't think that's correct, but
Doug was at the meeting. He can address this.
Yeah, we had a meeting of the Citizens Advisory Council on Transportation last week. We didn't have any particular items that needed to have any official action on. However, so I gave the committee a report of just all of our different transportation projects coming up. And so we spent quite a bit of time talking about the 3 projects on Blue Ridge, the Railroad Bridge project, and then the project to the west of that we would have the earmark funds on, and then the most recent project we're getting funding on is from the railroad bridge over to I-49. On the project to the west, I believe basically what my comments were is that we haven't had any particular studies done on that section on how that money can be used, but certainly at least in my mind, the first priority would be to get that street resurfaced and then repair any existing sidewalks, repair any existing curbs, and then use whatever available funds would be to extend curbs, extend storm drainage, and extend sidewalks.
I thought the $4.6 million that's coming from Congressman Cleaver was to include rebuilding that and sidewalks, because we have hundreds of people walking up and down it on the grass every day.
Yeah, Alderman Runnion's excellent point.
But can't somebody, when I hear back from transportation people in my ward that said, hey, we're not going to get sidewalks. That's not.
And I think there's a misunderstanding, and clearly Doug is clarifying that there's a priority of spending these dollars. The most important problem is going to be solved first. We haven't even bid the project. We haven't even received the dollars. Dollars have not even arrived to the MoDOT's coffers too. So that project is going to have a planning session, bidding sessions, and what have you, and we'll find out exactly what's going to be built. I think there's a misunderstanding here, but we're going to clarify as we get closer to the money. I want to make sure that money is in our city's coffers before we start having the planning session, because the planning has not even happened.
And it hasn't even been resurfaced in 30 years or more.
That I don't know. I wasn't here, but I believe you. You've been here for a few years at this point, so I don't know.
Yeah, some more to come.
Yeah, more to come.
Yeah. Anything else?
Let's don't mislead people. Got a lot of people upset.
Anything else?
Oh, and I think Alderwoman Bibbs might, but we attended, her and I attended the South Kansas City Alliance with Chief Eisman, and we heard a good report from the new Kansas City Police Chief. It was very informative. I think she'll do a great job. Just from the only person I ever heard talk like as long as and has had an answer was Patrick McKinnon. He's the MoDOT director. So I think she does an excellent job.
So, Mayor, if I may, if city has a policy for their employees, if the police chiefs ended up being on a paper, we get a commission of $10,000 for those people who are there.
Absolutely.
So I hope that our alderman and alderwoman is aware of that policy.
Yes. Yeah, makes sense. Alderman Maloney, anything?
The one thing I did want to have a word or two with Joe here. Thank you so much for your years of service, Joe. I made one kind of funny remark as we went through the line there. I thought it was funny. You might not have there. But one thing, I've got to work with you for over 10 years, almost 12 years now. And before getting on the board, I didn't grow up knowing a lot of lawyers. So the lawyers I knew were the ones you see on television. And sometimes those aren't the most appealing people sometimes. No one likes lawyers until you need one. But every time I've worked with you, your character has never been in question, and your dedication to your family and our citizens has always been very clear. So thank you for your years of service and teaching me a lot throughout all the years. I know you're not exactly done yet, but I just wanted to say on the record, thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Alderman Bibbs?
I just want to add a caveat to what Alderman Branyans was talking about in regards to South Kansas City Alliance meeting on last night at 6 o'clock at the South Patrol Police Campus. I want to thank our police chief, Chief Eisman, for taking time out to be there. I was so proud that our chief represented Grandview in the manner that he represented on last night. And I was glad to meet the new Kansas City Police Chief, Chief Stacy Graves. I truly believe she's going to do a great job for Kansas City. She talked about getting a handle on all the homicides. I didn't realize we had 169 homicides in the year 2022. And she also talked about addressing the homeless and the mental illness. So I'm looking forward to supporting and working with Kansas City in any way that I can.
Thank you. Alderman Hardman?
Yes, Joe, I really appreciate what you've done here, and every time, I want to tell you this, every time I was in your office, we may not have agreed on some things, and we may have agreed on some other things, but every time I was in there, I noticed you had a Bible on your desk. That really impressed me, you know, it really did. I mean, that's the character that you are, and as I think the mayor brought that up, or Ned or someone, that your moral character means a whole lot, and that'll always stay with me, you know, and I appreciate having those meetings with you. Thanks again. Second thing, Mayor, the gentleman, and I'm sure Chief is aware of this, but the gentleman down on the outer road and Main Street, who? Yes, yes. Even though he may be legally to do that, I don't know, but it's a very dangerous situation for him and for the traffic people going through there and noticing. And then the second thing is when he leaves cans, trash, and stuff there. So I don't know how we would address that, but it doesn't look very good for the city. Like I said, legally, maybe he has the right to do that, but I'm afraid that he might get hit by a car or something down there might happen. So I just want to bring that to the attention. And the third thing is I got two questions this week about feral cats. And I don't know if I think we talked about that a year or two ago or something, but people asked me what can be done about that, and I said, I don't know. We addressed that. It kind of slipped my mind what we do, if we do anything.
Yeah. So city traps them at times on the expense of the property owner, and that's as far as we go. But if there are specific questions, feel free to share my information. Now that I'm overseeing the community development, I will get them appropriate answers.
So just have them call you
Yeah,
then, Jamal?
call me, email me, any shape or form. If they have series of questions, so that we don't waste their time when they get here, we are prepared for those questions. But we have few things in our ordinances. That's the extent of how we deal with them.
Okay, I'll have them call
Yeah,
you.
please.
Thank you. Alderman Rousey?
Yeah, I got two things. One thing, I was at the chamber to let everybody know the chamber's new directory is out. Stop by the chamber and pick up one. If you haven't never been to the chamber, you need to take a look at it. Go over there and talk to Liz, the new president. They're doing a fantastic job over there right now. Second, Doug, who picks up the trash between Truman and Blue Ridge? Because there's been a lot of trash on that east side of the road. I noticed that when I was going up there today.
I've been picking it up lately. So.
Well, don't we have a thing with because I think a lot of it's coming from the trash trucks and stuff going up that way?
I'm not aware of any particular agreements. I mean, certainly when all that was MoDOT, it was their responsibility. However, they weren't able to do it to the level that we wanted to see it done. So we've used public works crews out there. Generally, we're spending a couple hours a week picking up various places along I-49 and 150.
Yeah.
Our heaviest traveled areas, the most visible places in our city. City crews along with some parks help us out sometimes and other departments. But otherwise, we've been doing it.
Okay. One other thing, the culvert right there in front of Freedom Cycle, that culvert, it's got weeds standing up like about this tall.
Kind of right there at the corner.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. The owner she thinks MoDOT supposed to be taking care of that. Could you find out for her?
with the taking over of the outer roads from MoDOT, that would be now a City of Grandview responsibility. I know where you're particularly talking about. It's a pretty deep hole. It's an area that can't be mowed. It's all handwork down in there. So we'll address it.
Okay. One other thing, Joe. Uh, I know every time I go in your office and I have a question, you always gave me a good answer and pat me on the back and send me on out my way. Lately, I've been going in your office and says, "Who's this guy?" So we're going to miss you. And I know on the Planning Commission, when you gave us a lot of good advice on the Planning Commission and leading us in the right direction and making the right decisions. So we're looking forward to your replacement. I know she will do a great job. But I didn't know you had been here 30-something years. But enjoy your retirement.
Thank you, and I agree that you will be in good hands going forward. Work with Carrie now for.
Okay, that's all. That's all I got, sir.
All right, thank you.
Mayor.
Yes.
Joe?
Well, hold on. Alderman Runyon?
And I don't know if it's happening. We're doing the reassessment in my neighborhood. I don't know if it's got to the whole Grandview, but Jackson County is reassessing all the properties in the county, and right now they're working in Grandview. I don't know where. I know they've been through Valley View. They've got 2 or 3 cars. We'll get some more information if it may be that we have to have Gail come back out and talk about this, because when you get the new assessment, you might not like it.
Alderman Runyon's Gail Beatty, who is the county assessor, and you were in that meeting too. She was here not too long ago at the View, talking about, Grandview is going to have these individuals. They're trying a new system, and this is the reality. And my understanding is that they sent notices to homes and individuals. I don't know how many people opened those envelopes. That's another story. But they've been saying this on their website. They've been talking about this on the radio. They came to Grandview. So it's been happening. And I don't know if they're they're going to different spots. But definitely they're going to go through the entire Jackson County within the next 2 years.
Right.
Yeah, they knocked on my door, talked to me, measured the lot, asked some questions, and they've been all over our area.
Yep. They're trying to figure out what they have or should have figured out a while ago.
Alderman Bibbs.
Joe, I'm going to try not to get emotional. I would be remiss not to thank you and to let you know how I really appreciate you. Because one time I was really concerned and really upset, and I needed to go and talk to you about some concerns that I had. And you showed compassion, and you showed empathy for my situation. And you had such a unique way to reach me, and you knew exactly what I needed. I needed to laugh. And you talked about your granddaughter painted your toenails. Was it green? And you took off your sock, and you showed me your toenail. And we laughed about it.
Too much information.
Yeah, way too much information.
Anyway, we laughed about it, and you gave me a big hug, and you said, "Debbie, everything's going to be all right." So I just want to thank you for that, because when I left your office, everything was all right, and that was because of you. So thank you, Joe, for being you. And I'm going to miss that.
Thank you. A couple of things for everybody. Monday is Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day. And hopefully there are some projects you can do to give back. If you don't have a project to give back, Rediscover is doing a project. We're painting and cleaning one of the facilities. So if you're available, let me know and be glad to have you. Also on that day, both City Hall and DMV are closed. So Monday is closed. The View has delayed hours. So if you're working out, 8 o'clock is when they open up, and they'll be ready to go from there. On Thursday, we have the tour with Butler Manufacturing Company. So we're looking forward to going there and touring that location. Friday, we have legislative breakfast, and that's going to be over at Avila. And we also have the Mayor's Blood Drive on Friday. and we are recognizing Mr. Joe Gall on Friday. So Friday is going to be a busy day or something, and we'll just go from there. So staff, you guys have anything for us?
Now that everybody's very emotional about Joe's departure, let me correct everybody. He's not departing. He's just reducing number of hours, and he's going to be with us few more days, months, years, decades. So, joking aside, so we'll see Joe. We'll see Joe in different attire and maybe a little bit of hair in his face, but he's going to be around. The next thing is, as far as these business visits goes, that we are working really hard to set up for you guys. They want to see you. They don't want to. I don't want to say they don't want to see us, but we're okay to be there. They really want to engage you about their issues and what have you. If you're available, please join us. Chamber works their tail off. We work our tail off to arrange this, and they're taking a time off from their busy businesses, manufacturing or otherwise, to be there. So if you're on, we appreciate your appearance. Last but not least, Joe's not-so-retirement event is at 2:30 on Friday, 2:30 p.m.
Okay, appreciate it. It is exactly 8:16. Are there any other items? And Dave and Laura, if you guys can come on up, because we want to have you guys close us out since you received the housewife. Come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Yes, come on this way. It's going to be all right. Since you guys we're the only ones here, come on around. Laura, we're going to have you sit down. We're going to let you close us out. Dave, you can stand behind her like you always do, and you can take the gavel. Absolutely, yes. Why don't you give the camera to Mackenzie, and she'll take a picture for you, Dave. She's good at taking pictures. She really is. So when I give you the word, you can go and hit the gavel. Okay. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Mr. Mayor.
Alderman Maloney.
So moved.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Mayor.
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are officially adjourned. You can hit the gavel. All right. Hit it a little bit harder. There you go. All right. Come on, Laura. You got to get it into it. Come on. Well, once again.
Thank you so much.
So once again, congratulations. Congratulations. Now, one thing you guys can do, when you go to housewife and utilize that.